Well, hey Jet Nation, this is GreenBean back with an interesting video where we're going to take a look at something. We're going to just get right into this thing and we're going to decide together where we are with our young signal caller, our rookie second overall pick, Mr. Zach Wilson. Jets fans are very polarized right now, although I am sensing an uptick in support for him over the past couple of weeks, especially with the blatant treatment that he's receiving from the New York media as of late. I think a lot of fans are starting to see that a lot of these narratives might not necessarily be accurate. Okay, let's just leave it there. So the question we're asking today is whether Zach Wilson is a bust or not. Now, a lot of people come right at this and they say things to me like, Zach Wilson is a bust, I can see it. He reminds me of quarterback X. We're using Sam Darnold as that guy he reminds us of. Now, in my opinion, I think a lot of people are really having trouble separating the last 3 years prior to 2021 with 2021 because it feels just like the same bad nightmare, doesn't it? It just feels like we're stuck in this perpetual loop of high draft pick, lots of hope, looking lost on the field. So we're seeing all that stuff. When you look at the question though, is he a bust? Some people are definitely on that side of things. I refuse to even give this guy my hope. I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting burned again. It's like being, the old saying, it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. A lot of people screw you with that one. I think it's better never to even believe in this love thing. Never to believe that this quarterback of mine is going to do anything because I see the results on the field and it's not looking like NFL football, right? And then you have the other guys on the other side who are thinking, hey man, this guy is a rookie. He was started as a rookie. He had crazy offensive line problems. We had a brand new offense, brand new offensive coordinator. So it's not just a new offense for Zach Wilson. This is a brand new offense. If you just look at things like the first couple weeks, we tried to be a 21 personnel team. Since then, we've been predominantly 11 personnel, and that's a major switch. More wide receivers lately as opposed to a fullback and tight ends. We were even 22 personnel a lot, which is 2 running backs, one of them being a fullback and 2 tight ends on the field at once. So think about that. Zach Wilson's on the field with the likes of Tevin Coleman, Trevon Wesco, Ryan Griffin, and Tyler Croft. That's a completely different look than Zach Wilson on the field with Michael Carter, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, and Jamison Crowder. It's a totally different look, okay? Totally different look. So when you look at something like the offense, we have a brand new offensive coordinator, and that's one of the things a lot of guys on the side of patience for Zach Wilson are saying, dude, how can we really expect all that much? How can we label him a bust when those situations are real? It's not just excuses. Now they sound like excuses, and I get that, but they are real. So what are we looking at here? First, on the bust side of things, Zach Wilson's completion percentage with 3 games left in his rookie season is a paltry 56.2. He currently has 11 interceptions and 6 touchdowns through the air. 6 touchdowns to 11 picks. Now, that doesn't look good when you just look at that. If somebody just brings up the stat sheet and goes, Jesus, Virginia, what is this guy? 11 interceptions, 6 touchdowns. That's terrible. Now, when you take into account, he also has 3 rushing touchdowns, which does bring his touchdowns to 9. Still lopsided, but a little bit less lopsided. The scale starts to, right? And then when you add that 2 or 3 of those interceptions were directly as a result of drops, 2 in particular on Corey Davis. The ball hit Corey Davis's hands first. He didn't catch it. The ball popped up and another team grabbed it, and there Zach Wilson's stats are affected, right? So when you look at the stats, 56.2 completion percentage, 11 interceptions to 6 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns is garbage for an entire season, isn't it? Now, he missed 4 games, so that does have impact, obviously, as well. But the numbers are still pretty ugly. When you take those numbers away and just look at the product on the field, there have been games where Zach Wilson has looked absolutely, without question, lost on the field. Can no longer hit things like a screen pass. A guy 5 yards away from him, he could just dump it. He throws it into the ground. Things like that. So there are guys saying, what am I watching here? I mean, there are a lot of us are saying, what am I watching here, right? But there is an outcry that says, we need to move on from this guy now. We can see it. He can't even make a screen pass. He cannot throw the ball 5 or 6 yards, and he doesn't know how to utilize his check down system, go through his progressions quickly enough that the 3 to 5 seconds that the offensive line can give him is just overwhelmed and consumed before he's able to even consider a check down. He starts running around, and that is very Sam Darnold-esque, especially in 2020. Sam Darnold looked like he fully expected to get sacked the second he was snapped the ball. He snapped the ball and started running for his life. He got the happy feet. When the feet start hop skiddly doing around, that was Sam in 2020, and that looks to be what Zach Wilson is trending toward now. So it makes a lot of sense. If you're holding on to those numbers, and I see no reason why you shouldn't utilize those numbers for part of your evaluation, then it could really look like Zach Wilson is a bust. It really can. Now, there's another piece to this. Zach Wilson has gotten numerous just terrible sacks, where he's been downright disrespected. Guys diving at his knees, guys literally ripping his helmet off, landing on him with the full weight of their body. We rarely see flags, and we rarely see offensive linemen sticking up for him, coming over and grabbing that defensive end. Get the hell off my quarterback. How dare you do X, Y, or Z? When he had that play where the Patriot defensive lineman dove at his knee, that was right on our sideline. No one, and I mean no one. Fort Lauderdale for you. Do you like my green wall? I'm calling it Jets wall. Why not? Puke green Jets wall. But this is Fort Lauderdale. That's where I am currently. It's tropical somewhere. I know it is. And the sun's out, so there's that. But he was on our sideline. Now, could you imagine, let's say Ben Roethlisberger, a guy diving right at his knee on our sideline. Late hit, number one. It was on the sideline, so there was an argument to be made that he was hit on the sideline. Very, very close. But the worst part about it was that he dove at his knee. And not our coaches, not our players, not defense, not offense, not linemen, not wide receiver. Nobody got angry at that except the fans. Fans like myself, we freaked out. So what does that tell you? Has Zach Wilson lost the team? Do they not believe in him? We know that offensive linemen such as Greg Van Roten came out and look, I think it was taken out of context, his comments. But the comments were still the comments. He said that Zach Wilson needs to do something different. Maybe if he did this a little different, we would have more success. So what is it? Does the team not believe in him? Does the team feel kind of hamstrung with this guy? When Mike effing White came in, he threw for 405 yards with the same team. Mike effing White, the next game against the Colts, threw for 95 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter. Then Josh Johnson, our third-string quarterback, a well-traveled journeyman with 14-year vet in the league, came in and threw for 317 after Mike White threw for that 95 and a touchdown. Josh Johnson threw for 3 touchdowns. Then Joe Flacco comes in, and he throws for just under 300 yards himself. So maybe the team could be thinking, hey man, if we had anybody else right now, we'd be at least a 500 team. Maybe they're thinking that. I don't know. Is that what you see? So when you look at that side, there's enough fuel to have those thoughts that this guy's a complete bust. Maybe the coaching staff doesn't even like him. Maybe they don't even want him. You saw how LaFleur was sitting with Mike White and all that sort of stuff. Who knows? Is that something that you think? So let's look at the other side. Zach Wilson, some of the critique is that Zach Wilson is just too small. He's too small for this game. He's a little tiny guy. He's cute as a button. He's got little blonde hair, little tiny fingers, and all that stuff. He looks like a little cutie pie, doesn't he? But the truth is Zach Wilson is 6'2", arguably 6'3". He's 6'2" and change. Now, if you get up to 6'2.5", we all know about the laws of averaging and everything. If you're at 0.5, that's an average up, isn't it? It's 4 and below, that's an average below. So if he's 6'2.5", he's 6'3". And let me tell you, he's listed as 6'3" in numerous places. Now, when you look at his wiki and like pro reference, they list him as 6'2". So let's keep him there. I want to give you a list of quarterbacks that are 6'2". When you start thinking about which guys are small. Now, below him is, guys like Kyler Murray, who's 5'10". You have Russell Wilson, who's 5'11". You have Tua Tagovailoa, who's only 6'1", arguably 6'2". You have Tyrod Taylor, Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield, and Jalen Hurts, all smaller than Zach Wilson, at least in height. The 6'2 club, it's guys like Kirk Cousins, Andy Dalton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Matthew Stafford, our boy Sam Darnold, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson. So the truth is that Zach Wilson isn't small. He's 215 pounds on top of that. So he's not 5'11", a $188. Like, that's not what he is. He might look that way because he's so gosh darn cute. But the truth is his size is fine. Now, as far as arm strength, now, yes, he's had problems throwing those little short passes and everything, but the truth is Zach can hit anywhere on the field at any given time. He can hit the outs and the flat, no problem. He can hit 50-yard bombs, no problem. So the idea that he can't hit these shorter passes leads you to believe he's just up here. He's just thinking. Now, and that would be very, very normal for a guy, rookie year, brand new offensive coordinator still trying to figure it out, new pieces, offensive line in disarray, all kinds of stuff like that. It would lead you to think that having some issues as far as your ingestion and your employment of the offense, it would be off. It's no problem. Another question about Zach Wilson is, should we have started him this early? Was he ready to start? A lot of people are on opposite sides of this one. A lot of people disagree with the manner in which the Jets have been developing him, the way that they chose to use him. He wasn't ready to be a starting quarterback, and if they would have had maybe a real vet, somebody that they could confidently just put out there for 6 weeks, maybe Zach Wilson would have done a lot better. And they use examples such as Aaron Rodgers, such as Patrick Mahomes. Right? They use these guys. Now, Aaron Rodgers' situation was significantly different because they had Brett Favre. Patrick Mahomes' situation was completely different because they already had Alex Smith, who'd been to the playoffs. And don't forget, the Chiefs just gave up not too long before that 2 second-round picks to get Alex Smith. So they already had a guy here. We didn't have that guy. Now, maybe we could have. I don't know. There's an interesting quote from Peyton Manning that was made not too long ago. Manning was talking to Peter King, and he said this: the game slowed down for him during his rookie season, and that he feels playing as a rookie is, quote, the best way to learn for a young quarterback. Now, I could imagine that if Peyton Manning was the Jets quarterback during that record-breaking rookie season where he threw 28 interceptions, I imagine that there would be at least a sliver, maybe half of our Jet Nation would totally be saying that he was a bust as well. If we had Josh Allen during his first 2 years, we'd be calling him a bust as well. The guy, Josh Allen, looked like a moron at times, didn't he? Fumbling, bumbling, he was making terrible decisions, lots of picks, all that sort of stuff. So when you look at Zach Wilson's last 5 weeks, I want to just give you a short little stat here. For Zach Wilson's first 5 games, he had 9 interceptions. In his first 227 passes, he had 11 interceptions. In his last 81 passes, he's had 0 interceptions. When you look at the ability to score, to lead the offense in the end zone in the beginning of games, First 5 games, he had none of those. Last 5 games, he's had a whole bunch. Including first drive touchdowns. So, the argument can be made that the progression is happening. It's right before our eyes. Now, maybe it's not what we want to see. Maybe it's not to the place, to the level that we thought it would be. That you can argue. At the same time, it is better, and it's significantly better. First 227, 11 picks. Last 81, none. So when you look at stats like that, it can be argued that his decision-making is improving. His understanding of the offense is improving. So where do you stand? Is Zach Wilson a bust? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget, if you're looking for more Jets talk, there's no place like Jet Nation, the most active and the largest fan site in the entire NFL. No place like it. If you're looking for information or just people to commiserate with, Jet Nation is the place to be. JetNation.com, click on our forums, and don't forget to like and subscribe right here on Jet Nation's YouTube page. Let me know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on whether or not Zach Wilson is a bust. And as always, go Jets.